So today, we're going to dive into a really powerful philosophy about writing. It's one that reframes the whole act, not as some random flash of inspiration, but as an act of architecture. We're going to challenge that romantic myth of the spontaneous artist and instead build a new way of thinking about what it truly means to create. So let's just start with the big question, right? When you think about writing, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it that lightning bolt of an idea, that sudden, uncontrollable wave of emotion? Or is it something else? Let's hang on to that question for a minute. Okay, here's the fundamental conflict we're digging into. On one side, you've got the myth. The idea of writing is this raw, spontaneous emotional outburst. And on the other side, you've got this philosophy that sees writing as a deliberate, careful act of craftsmanship. I mean, these are two totally different ways of looking at the same thing. First up, let's really unpack this idea that I think a lot of us grew up with, this popular, almost movie-like stereotype of what a writer is. You can picture it, can't you? The tortured artist just wrestling with their demons, waiting for that muse to show up, and then, bam, pouring their soul onto the page in this chaotic, messy rush. It sounds great, it's super dramatic, but is it really how great work gets made? Is that the whole story? All right, now for the pivot. Let's explore the really powerful alternative that this philosophy offers. And honestly, this is where it starts to get really, really interesting. The core concept here is something called intellectual precision. And this idea, it completely flips the script. It says the best creative work isn't about raw, unfiltered feeling. Nope, it's about intentional design. It's about deliberate, careful craftsmanship. It's about thinking and planning and, well, building. And this quote just nails it. It's the whole idea in a nutshell. Forget the writer as an emotional vessel. Instead, think of the writer as an architect. They're not someone who just gets swept away by the storm of life. They're the one who designs the shelter that can actually withstand it. So what does that actually look like? What does it mean to be an architect of experience? Okay, let's break down the blueprint for this whole process. See, this is how that abstract idea becomes a concrete plan. The architect-writer doesn't run from the chaos of life, they start with it. Step one is acknowledging that reality is turbulent. Then they design a reliable structure to contain it. After that, they reshape all the little fragments of life to fit. And finally, they construct something built to last, an enduring masterpiece. Okay, so what's the point of all this? What's the ultimate goal of this architectural approach? Well, it's about doing something incredible. Building order directly from the chaos of being alive. I mean, just think about it for a second. These are the raw materials we all have to work with. Life isn't a neat, tidy story, is it? It's a total jumble of fleeting moments, emotions that pull you in different directions, and events that don't seem connected at all. It's messy and disorganized. And that is the pile of stuff the architect has to build with. And this is where the magic happens. The job of the architect is to take all of those chaotic fragments we just talked about and synthesize them, to forge them into one singular, coherent piece of work that lasts. It's about creating meaning where maybe there wasn't any before. So let's bring this all home. Let's look at the big payoff for all this work, because it leads to a really profound idea about why art matters so much in the first place. So why bother? Why go through all this trouble? Because, according to this philosophy, art is one of our best tools against time itself. It's a way for us to take our brief, fleeting existence and build something permanent out of it, a legacy that can actually outlast us. And all of that leaves us with one last, big question to chew on. Is the purpose of art just to be a mirror, to simply reflect the chaos of life exactly as it is? Or is it a hammer and a chisel? A tool we use to shape that chaos into something more ordered, more meaningful, maybe even more perfect? Well, that's something to think about. Thanks for joining me.